wide those pontoons are. But then look how wide that plane seems to be. It actually could carry some kind of armament. Looks like a torpedo. This was built in the 1915 by the Short Aircraft Company for the British, who then apparently used it in the Mediterranean. 1915, when was the first plane developed? No, 1903 or something. Kitty Hawk. Here an Asian family enjoying the thrill of kill. It occurred to me how much Europeans complain and are astonished at American gun issue, and yet the games, computer games that kids play all over the world are usually incredibly violent based. An anti-aircraft type of vehicle. This thing was used for mobile coastal defense. Deadly things they were. I don't rebuke this museum for doing what it does, but from the viewpoint of mankind at large, isn't it amazing how we glorify these instruments of war? Any wonder that young people in our cultures throughout time grow up almost inherently aspiring to violence? It was the incident with this particular submarine, the Ozo, who came to Tallinn harbor, a neutral country, but then fled on September 19th, and the USSR interpreted that to its benefit as an act of violence or complicity with an enemy country, and used it to demand that Estonia accept the Mutual Assistance Pact, i.e. become an aid to USSR. Guessing with optimism that someday in the future, a distant future perhaps, man will consider these kinds of museums to be an anathema and demand that they be retitled and re-imaged into the hateful, destructive things that they reflect. I say with optimism in the hopes that someday such kinds of weapons and their acts will be outlawed, be unnecessary. There's a hatch in the top of this submarine. It would not have had these railings. You just better be damn agile. It's a substantial deck. Not sure what these ports gave access to. It was the main hatch, so we'll go down. We're down inside the torpedo room. Certainly would not have been as pleasant and atmospheric as it is here. There you see a torpedo, so they would have had some mechanism for sliding these into place that would have housed one. And here are the bunks for the men that operated this system. What a tight sleeping place this was, but then it was a submarine. Apartment held 12 crew members at least. They had access to engine and so forth, I suspect. So now we'll see if we can navigate through here. Really hit my head on the top of that hole. These were beds, as well as probably a common area. They're not spacious. Wow. Huh. Toilet. This would have been a very busy, compacted place. Access to the conning tower, probably the pressure gauge and the dive bunks, 13, 14, and 15 there. Imagine how you vented this. Intricacy of the infrastructure, piping for who knows what. And imagine what a enemy's torpedo or a mine would do to shatter some of this. Imagine the hellish noise this would make. The engine, and maybe there was a companion engine here also in this cavity. The blower mechanism for exhausting air, I suspect, be the air from the engine. Electrical control, some... Jesus, look at the size of those breakers. Here we're in the front, or the other end of the ship. Actually, more crew members, so there may be a total of 20 people or more who are in this. The lockers for the individual men. The toilet. This is for here. Seems spacious now, but I doubt we've got all the stuff in here that was in here. Now these joints are designed to expand and contract. The structure that holds this shell together. Area, the most apparently spacious area. I'd say we're up to 25, 26 people in the instrumentation. All of this stuff could have been handled on a simple cell phone today. This. Apparently the construction of this hangar was, as this says, one of the most astounding engineering achievements of the 20th century. The only thing that seems to stand out as similar was the creation of the dome. I think it's St. Peter's in Florence, Italy, by Brunelleschi's dome. Before. This would be an earlier submarine. We'll walk around and find out. And not because I disrespect it, but because it looks so cartoonish. And it may have been this is kind of an exhibit where we can experience what it's like to be down in the submarine. This is the model of the Russian submarine, the Kursk. I think it was in 1994 that it sank and perished. It's thought that it was a torpedo that leaked and then exploded. Apparently is a device that you can in about 4 minutes get inside of and experience the decompression, I suspect. Where kids can get in and tire themselves out ruining that thing and causing the propeller. When you get to experience the wind conditions at sea, here apparently you can play with the boats. That's too cool. Kids can get a little sense of what it might be like to sit in a plane. Of course, with the computer games and the VR coming along, this is going to be really simplistic someday. The model of the Sir Toll that we saw parked out front. This is clever. Kids can take the paper that's laid out here and use these design examples or templates and create their own model plane.